My sip of black tea first.
I got my water.
That is better than black tea. Nothing's as good as water. Hey, everybody. This is Seth, Keeping It Real. So glad you are here today. Today, tell me if the audio is amazing or not. This team that I work with at Just One Dime is badass. If you had any idea how much work they do behind the scenes to make this work so you get a premium coaching training experience. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Jacob. Thank you to Caleb. Thank you to EJ, Vasily, everyone involved to make this work. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You may see my face, but there are people behind the scenes kicking butt so that you can get the best content possible. And I would be amiss to not introduce our special guest today, Karina. Karina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So glad to have you here. Guys, Karina is a former model and medical student, but she chose Amazon. She chose Amazon. Now, you got to tell us a little bit about what you were doing before Amazon, Karina. What's your story?
So I was not doing anything related to Amazon, entrepreneurship, e-commerce, nothing of that sort. So I basically was going the school route in order to get a job, that whole situation. So my whole entire school career, I basically worked really hard to get A's and, really the highest marks I could ever get just to go to medical school. So I was working at a trauma 1 surgery center. And after I graduated and got my biology degree, and I was also simultaneously starting to a modeling agency in Los Angeles. So I was doing both at the same time and applying to schools and just working side by side with surgeons. So literally no experience in e-commerce whatsoever before Amazon.
You know what I love about that? You said you had no experience before selling on Amazon, no experience in e-commerce. When I started, I had no experience. And I think a lot of people, they think, well, you have to have a lot of experience even to have a chance at succeeding. But the truth is, guys, everyone starts with zero experience. Karina's medical and modeling career have nothing to do with Amazon FBA. So Karina, why did you choose Amazon? Like, of all the options in the world, you decided not to become a doctor. You decided not to pursue modeling long-term. What is it about Amazon that attracted you to this model, and why do you do it today?
Honestly, I feel like Amazon chose me sometimes. It's really funny because I was literally on the internet browsing around. I was always kind of studying things and kind of looking at trends and what's going on. And I stumbled across a private label video. And at that point, I thought it was going to be something like you're making shampoos out of your basement, something really cheesy that you make no money from. And I clicked off the video, and then just like it kept popping up several videos throughout that night. And then it clicked for me within like the second or third video as soon as I realized it wasn't that. And when I realized all the opportunities available, and it kind of opened my eyes to passive income, and that there was a way to make money without actually having your time be tied to your income, as I saw it literally every single day of my life, of all careers that I've chosen, all the schooling I did. So that was really the number one thing. And then why Amazon specifically as a business model, because I know there's other ones going around, is you realize you have access to all these Prime members and all these shoppers that are literally already looking to buy something. You're not trying to convince them to get anything.
They already have trust. Yeah, they're already there going to buy. I want to real quick, Karina, I want to park on a word you said. You said passive income. Now, I know that word has received a lot of bad rap in the last couple years. People are like, oh, it's not passive. You have to work. Can you explain what you mean by that for our listeners today?
So definitely passive, not in a way that you don't have to put any work and that it's doing itself, because you can, any business you run, you have to put an effort and you have to watch it. Otherwise it's going to collapse. And if you want to expand, you have to do something. But passive in a way that you don't actually have to physically be there. It's the hour you put in isn't going to be directly proportional to the income you put in. Exactly. An hour or 2 or 3 of learning and new skill within the Amazon can increase your sales higher than you could if you are in a normal job. There's just no limit to that. There's just so many opportunities, and it's exponential, not linear with the income. And plus, Amazon is open 24/7.
Right.
So as you sleep, you wake up and you see your sales. So you're literally making sales on the clock.
Well, really quick, guys, just for fun. So you can see I have little notes here, questions I want to ask Karina. I'm going to switch over to my Amazon seller app. I just want you guys to see just for a second here. Just for a second, I want you to see, this is from a store started in July. This is from July. Okay. This is July. This is revenue. Look, in the last 30 days, we're at 22.85 thousand. This is a new store. And I'm going to change it. I'm going to click product sales. Just so you know, units sold, just so you know, this is real. This isn't a screenshot. This is real. This is my seller app, one of my Amazon stores. What Karina's talking about is real. Okay, so you can see we've had 373 units in the last 30 days. Again, I'm going to switch it back to product sales, 22.85 thousand. And that is a barely over 3-month Amazon store. And this is just one of them. This is what Karina's talking about. You can do this, you guys. You can make it happen. It is possible. Is it easy? No. But what I really appreciate about Karina's story is how she chose this over being a doctor or being a model. And I just find that fascinating because they're so unrelated. And you made a point, Karina, about the passive income. You wake up richer than you were before. And here's something I love. Well, first, let me say something I don't love. I have friends who went to medical school. And they spend the next 10 years of their life paying off that debt. Like you work so hard for people who had to borrow money, and then they have to pay off this debt. And then they're trying to pay off the debt while they're making a lot of money, but the majority of it is going to that debt. But with Amazon, you don't have to start that way. Like literally, if you want to do arbitrage, you could start with a couple $100 or even 100, buy, sell, make money, then take that money, buy more products, resell them, make more money, and continue to grow that into a private label business. Karina, how do you distinguish yourself from other Amazon sellers? What's unique about you and how you do your sales on Amazon?
I think one thing is that I had no experience, which is great. I think that makes it easier for other people to start too if they're in that shoes. But as far as like selling in Amazon, I really focus on, and I have a lot of people like consulting with me to start a business, and I teach Amazon FBA as well. And I like to point out the fact that, like you mentioned, like you do not have to have a bunch of money to start this. You don't need to be pumping in like hundreds and thousands of dollars,
right,
and like other professions, right? And I feel like a lot of people that sell Amazon kind of try to put it in a way where you need thousands and thousands, like $20,000 or $30,000 to start to turn a profit. Right. And that's not like that at all. So I like to teach everyone to do it low risk. So there's just more opportunity to get ahead in the business model.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be stressing about funds as well. Like you mentioned, there's other ways to earn a good portion of money in order to invest it in a product. And it doesn't have to be like thousands and thousands of units.
Exactly. And a lot of people who start businesses, let's just take Austin for an example, Austin, Texas, where I live, where my office is right now. If you were to go out and start a brick and mortar business, you might have to invest easily $20,000 to $200,000 just to get it started. And a lot of entrepreneurs who do this, they don't expect to be profitable for the first 1, sometimes 3 years into the business. With Amazon, you can be profitable much quicker. So if you hear someone saying, man, within 6 months of my launch, I'm now seeing profits, comparing that to a typical entrepreneur's life, it's absolutely incredible. And you don't even ever have to touch the product because of Amazon's fulfillment system. Karina, what would you say to somebody who is skeptical about this business?
This is like a really good question because I feel a lot of people are skeptical for not really like valid or important reasons. When I first started out, I think I had a slight advantage because I had no idea what it was. So the first videos I saw were positive videos, right? But nowadays there's so much negativity going around the business model, and that it's hard or it's oversaturated or dead or whatever else. And people take that with a lot of skepticism, and they don't want to start because of that, or they think they need more funds. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. Yeah. And I just want to let everyone know and kind of spread the message because I want to share like my experience and my success I had. And I want for more people to be aware that financial freedom and just freedom of your life is possible, and that you don't have to, like you said, brick and mortar businesses, so much investment, even careers are investments, so many years. And it's a scary thought, and it's not that it doesn't have to be that way. There's just so much more opportunity with FBA. You just have to move past the false misconceptions and look at the positivity, which is a lot of people have done it. A lot more people are going to continue doing it. Amazon is just going to continue expanding. Yeah, exactly. And for those of you guys who might think, well, yeah, there's so many Amazon sellers now, it's too crowded, it's saturated. Like my chances are so much lower than those of you guys who started a long time ago.
So I just showed you guys a new Amazon store started just over 3 months ago. Just over 3 months, brand new Amazon store, brand new everything. The other thing to think about is right now, if you look at all of these sellers on Amazon, of the people who go to buy on Amazon, it's just over 10% of all retail sales happen online in America. Just over 10. That means still close to 90% of the online sales are still in of retail sales are still in brick and mortar stores. So guys, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of where it is headed. The opportunity is huge. And I was talking to one of our team members here today, earlier, Karina, and this thought came to my mind. There are two things really I believe someone needs to succeed on Amazon. And you have demonstrated you have these. And my team here demonstrates day by day that they have these. And here are the two things. Number one, you need knowledge. We have to have knowledge. Like you have to. That's why we literally have an entire coaching company here in Austin, Texas, just devoted to that alone. But number two, you have to have action. It's one thing to binge watch YouTube videos, and that can be great, but it's another thing to move to action on it. What I've found, Karina, is a lot of people, they'll get the knowledge or they'll learn a lot, but there's still something in their brain saying, you don't deserve this, or you're not good enough, or you're going to fail, or what will your parents or your friends or your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend think? And there's all these different voices in their head competing with taking action and succeeding. And yet you chose to do it. What happened in your brain, in your mind and heart? How did you move to action? What motivated you? What made it work for you, Karina? Like some of the, I don't know, psychology, for lack of a better word, did you go through to get to that point?
Honestly, for me, it was instant. Once I saw the video, I didn't need any convincing. I didn't need any motivating. I just full on took action the same day I saw it. I binge watched till the sun came up all night, YouTube videos, and I instantly started doing product research as soon as I found out how to. I didn't have a single doubt in my mind it would work because I saw so many success stories. And if I see even a few people that are doing it, I'm like, okay, well, they had no experience. Why can't I do this? It's a lot better of an option than what I'm doing now. It's everything I want. I can work remotely. I can travel, which is what I'm doing now. I'm literally in Europe. That's why I'm in a hotel room.
Right.
There's just so many things you can do with that. And I just took action. So I think the biggest thing for people is, again, like you said, all those mindset and misconceptions. And I guess the thing you have to do is just move past it and just take action. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic or crazy, but just start the product research, start to get proper education from good courses, and then you'll see that the model is going to be making more sense. It seems overwhelming at first, and that's how I felt when I started, but day by day, you understand it, the pieces come together, and you say, okay, this isn't that bad, I can do this.
Right.
And it's interesting because you start to see it so much more clear, where you can look at a list of products or, all the numbers and instantly know if this is something that you should further look into or not. So it does get easier than when you first look at it and you're clueless.
Absolutely. And when you were binge watching all those videos until the sun came up, a couple of those videos were Just One Dive videos, right?
Yes, they were actually.
Really? That's cool.
Yes.
I meant that as a complete joke, but that's awesome. Super cool. By the way, guys, below this video, I'm going to include a link to Karina's YouTube channel, so you guys can follow her. I highly recommend you subscribe to her YouTube channel. She has some great content. Here's what I love about the various teachers of Amazon out there, and specifically Karina's. Karina doesn't just talk it, she's doing it. So she's teaching you from her life experience. Second, she's gonna have tips and angles and methods you probably won't ever hear from me or Just One Dime coach, because we're all learning this and there's different levels and different kinds of experiences depending on the product category. So guys, make sure, well, first of all, like this video if you like it, if this content's helpful. Yes. Please like this video. And below, after this post live on YouTube, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe to Karina's YouTube channel to get more content from her. She's also on Instagram as well. So here's a question I wanna ask you. What is your long-term plan? And before you answer it, everyone, we just take a moment to think about this. It has been said so many times, if you aim for nothing, you'll hit it every single time. When you have a plan and then you reverse engineer how you're going to get to the plan, your chances of success are just ridiculously multiplied at an exponential level. You have to know where you want to go. And so if you're thinking, well, I'm going to sell on Amazon to make money, that's great, but that's not specific enough. You've got to know, what am I trying to do? How much money am I trying to make? Do I want to buy a nice house? Do I want to pay off my house? Do I want to help orphanages in Ibu, China? Do I want to give back somehow to people at my church? Is there some other thing I'm trying to accomplish? And therefore, Amazon becomes a means to an end. And I love this question because now you get to hear some of Karina's own personal motivation. Go for it, Karina.
So I think a lot of people focus on the how, right? They look at Amazon and they get jumbled up about product research or something. But like you mentioned, you have to look at your why. That's the most important thing that's going to drive you forward. So everyone has a different why, and it goes into two categories. One is obviously the business side of how far do I want to grow it, what numbers I want to reach. And that's kind of mandatory. Your business has to grow. Otherwise, the other components won't get fulfilled, such as I want to help my family. I want to make myself a better person. I want to keep learning this. So for me, I've always loved learning, and that's why I went into medicine. And I also wanted to help people. That's why, again, I went into medicine. I was planning on doing Doctors Without Borders and traveling because I love to travel as well. And I wanted to help everyone that I possibly could. But I realized that business model or life model wouldn't make my dreams come true. And I thought, okay, I want to give myself the best opportunity in life to succeed. Then I want to help my family. Then I want to take it outside and really spread as much as I can, whatever it is. Before, I didn't know it was going to be e-commerce, but I want to spread it out and just make a positive change in the world. So in order to do that, it's like, what do you have to do? You have to build, you have to expand yourself in the knowledge of something. And right now that's Amazon FBA. So, when you're first starting out, maybe you want to make a side income, side hustle, whatever. Right. Then you want your actual income. Then you think, okay, now I can have a more sustainable life. I can take that out to helping my family. And then it's all about how much you want to scale it and how much you want to take it to the next level.
Totally.
Personally, this is exactly why I went into teaching, because I want everyone to, I think people relate differently to different people, right?
Totally true. Absolutely.
So that's why I'm here. I want to tell my story the way it happened to me. Hopefully I can help people get to their level of success, or even if I'm just a stepping stone, that's kind of what I'm here to do. That's what I wanted to do my whole life, to expand it. And honestly, just with Amazon FBA, I truly, truly love the business model. I find it so interesting. I find that there's so many ways it could be taken, and compared to the other ones, it's so, in my opinion, I'm sure you might agree, it's very superior to the other e-commerce models for many, many reasons. And I can go into that later, but that's kind of in a nutshell what I'm aiming to do, is just to kind of, with the teaching side, is to teach as many people that is possible and to help as many people reach that goal, knowing my mistakes, what I have done, to fill in those gaps so they don't have to do the same thing. Right. And they don't have to waste the money and time doing nonsense things that I had to go through.
Exactly.
And then also on the Amazon side to continue scaling it, because I find it very, very interesting.
It's really interesting. You mentioned making mistakes, and one of the biggest mistakes I made, no one taught me at the beginning until I got a mentor after I was beginning to scale on Amazon. And that was more general, how to be an entrepreneur, how to grow a business, how to invest. But there were so few videos out back then when I started, it was hard. And one of the mistakes I made is when I ordered products from a supplier, the second batch, and this product was selling very well, it still sells today very well. But the second batch that they sent in directly to Amazon's fulfillment center, there was a flaw in it. And so I started getting all these complaints and returns, and that listing, unfortunately, this did not suspend my account, but that listing got closed by Amazon and had all this inventory, and I did a removal order, checked the inventory. It was bad. Like, it was completely defunct. And so ultimately, after looking back, I lost $20,000. Wow. The funny thing, and you would think I would know this, but I didn't. No one had told me, hey, Seth, and this is in the early stages of my Amazon career. Hey, Seth, if you just have someone go and inspect the product for you, it's like $250. It can avoid a $20,000 mistake. And I find it ironic, and I'm going to share this with you guys again, for those of you guys who might be doubters or haters, like, oh, it can't be true. I'm switching over to my Amazon app. Again, I want to show you, this is a new Amazon store. Okay, this started in July. Can you guys see that? This is just over 3 months, and I'm going to switch it just so you know this is real. I'm switching it over to units sold, boom, you can see 172% increase over the last 30 days. Okay, this is just one of the Amazon stores. So what we talk about is we're not just pulling it out of the air. We can tell you the challenges, the problems, the guilty until proven innocent philosophy that sometimes permeates the Amazon corporate. We'll talk about that. We understand what it's like. But what Karina is saying is so true, you guys. If you get someone who understands the process, who knows the ups and the downs, you will save yourself so much time and money. It's part of investing in you. If I compare that, Karina, to the educational system, let's just talk about the US, for example. I love the US, by the way. I'm patriotic for the US. Not everything about the US do I love, but I still think it's an amazing country and the opportunity here is amazing. But if you look at the educational system, what are we taught? We are taught to sit in a classroom, to listen to a teacher, to read a book, and to make sure we grade high on a paper. We're taught to get answers correct. The problem with that is it has nothing to do with real life experience, going out as an apprentice to a contractor and smashing my finger with a hammer and learning from it, or installing a rafter, or painting a wall, or building a business, or performing surgery. Now, again, I know in medical school, you do get a lot of practical application with your internship, and I get that. But I'm saying as a general rule of thumb, the way education is taught in the US, I believe is very jacked up. And that is why there are so many people rising up and saying, look, let me show you from my life experience. So it doesn't matter. It's not about Karina. It's not about Seth. It's not about just one dime. Make sure you get a mentor who can help you make the right decisions. And I saw a comment below here. It said, Amazon is saturated. That is 1000% untrue. It's not even close to saturated. It's a marketplace. In fact, if you have a marketplace, it's really hard to get saturated. More accurate would be certain products are saturated. The marketplace just hosts the products. In the next 10 years, and Karina, you can hold me accountable for this statement I'm about to make. I predict that in the next 10 years, Amazon seller growth and Amazon customer growth is going to explode at an insane rate, like in the thousands, in my belief, because we haven't even gotten close to half of all purchases being online. We're not even there yet, and yet everyone's thinking about it. And like you said earlier, Karina, when someone goes to Amazon, what are they there for? They're there to buy. They already have trust because it's Amazon. Amazon spends literal billions of dollars for customer satisfaction, which means a lot of the blogging, the marketing, the ads that you would have to do if you built your own e-commerce store separate from Amazon is already taken care of for you. And the cost for that is much greater than the cost of the fees for selling on Amazon. And I know this because my first business completely crashed and failed and burned and smoked and was pulverized into ashes and thrown into a river. Like it was that bad. Yet I learned so much from it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're really, really quite lucky with Amazon giving us so many opportunities. We don't really need to know how to do marketing. People are literally typing in a word that they are convinced that they want to buy. So all we have to do is find those markets that have those gaps and fill them in and make a better offer. It's a much easier than having a brick and mortar or building something out from scratch, learning marketing, learning how to drive customers. It's quite a blessing. And like you said, if your statement is true in the next 10 years, I'm all for that statement because I would not mind that type of increase.
I know. And that's why people who jump in now, once you're in, your store can grow with the explosion. Like more right now, okay, check this out. This is just so insane. We have multiple surveys conducted, and I'm talking about Statista and other research companies. Here's the problem right now on Amazon. You know what the problem is, guys? It's not too many sellers. It's so many customers looking for products that aren't even available on Amazon right now. If you guys go to Keyword Tool Dominator, just for a second, go to Keyword Tool Dominator, type in pet products, and find all the searches being done. It'll rank them from 1 to a 10, 1 being the highest, 10 being the lowest. Take one of those key terms, drop in Amazon.com and search it. This is product research training right here. We're training you right now. Find those keywords that no one is selling, but shoppers are searching. That's the biggest problem. There is a lack of products. People are going to Amazon looking and they're not finding it. What if you were the next person, watcher, viewer, followers, to go to Amazon and sell that product that people are searching? You can find products people are searching that no one is selling. It's that big of a problem right now. And that's why we need sellers who understand how to do it correctly and how to build a brand. Karina, you had mentioned your desire to serve people. And I just want to take just a second here to share with you guys who are listening right now. I resonate with that because the biggest motivator for me was freedom and margin for KK, my wife, and my 4 children. When I started selling on Amazon, what was driving me like crazy is I have to change how I live. I'm tired of the 9 to 5, building someone else's dream mindset, living the death by paycheck cycle. Why can't I generate something else? And so I started selling on Amazon while I was still working for the richest company in the world. And I make so much more money now not working for the richest company in the world, which is kind of ironic if you think about it. And that's what drove me to say, you know what? I have to do something different. And I know one of you guys down here, you're like, fire your employer. Don't say that too loud because I have really cool staff around here. But I didn't right away. I made sure my money, the money I was making from Amazon was far more than the money I was making from Apple, because guess what I did with that money, guys? I put it right back into my Amazon store, because then I knew I could grow up faster. If I had left earlier, like right when Amazon was making me just enough money to live on, it would have slowed my business growth and put me at risk, especially with all my debt and my fat mortgage. Because now a lot of that money that could have been going into growing my store would be going to paying for food on the table for my family and my mortgage and all my other expenses and my car bill and everything else. Because I decided to wait, I paid off every single debt I had, even my house. And that gave me a freedom. And right now, Karina and I are making money on Amazon. Like, I can check this again and we'll see how many more sales came through while we're talking. Let me ask you one more question, Karina. And again, thank you so much for being here today, especially all the way over there in Europe. By the way, what country in Europe are you in right now?
I'm in Israel right now.
Oh, wow. It's one of the places I want to visit.
It's very, very interesting here. I love it. People are so sporty and active. There's so many people running across the promenade nonstop.
Man, that's really cool. I can't wait to visit there. So one more question I'm going to ask you, Karina, and that is, why is FBA a superior model to other e-commerce platforms?
And where do I even begin with that? I think, okay, the 2 reasons for me why I saw it, and going back to the why and everything, I think I said it, like I just took action immediately and I was motivated. But going back to that, the reason for that is pretty much everything you said. Is you have the why. I see it's like, why does everyone else get to live the life that they want, and I have to sit in traffic in the morning, going to work and then going back from work? It's like peak traffic. Why do I have to do this every day while other people don't? And there isn't a special formula. I honestly used to be convinced that it was some kind of inheritance, or they knew someone, it was by connection that they got to
something special.
And I thought that's not available to everybody else. And once you start looking into it, you're like, wait a second, it actually is available to everybody else. And once you realize that, and you realize that everything you want can actually literally happen, then you start to think, why do I even want to wait? That's why I spent the whole night, because I was online. And anyone who's even watching this video, I'm convinced that you want to change in your life. That's why you're even putting into the or searching for it. And then you probably take that as a sign that, okay, maybe I should take the next step and actually really look into it. And that's how I took it. I finally saw something, it clicked for me. And I'll tell you, building on your last question too here, I've never seen something that gives you access to so many people. It's like all these millions and millions of shoppers that are looking to buy the product. That just like hit a light switch for me, because every other business is like trying to pass out flyers. I come to my car every day, there's flyers, it's like ads everywhere. Come to my store, please buy my product. And Amazon's not like that. You're showing up for something that, if you look at all the keyword tools, they tell you how many monthly searches there are that many people that are interested. So all you have to do is create something better. And then the other best thing is the fact that you literally don't have to touch anything. You just inspect your product, make sure it's good, send it to yourself just to put on your shelf to be, oh, that's cool, it's my product. But Amazon does all the shipping. You don't even have to see it. It goes into the Amazon warehouse. They deal with returns. They deal with all of that. So you're not there like a crazy person packing and shipping things, especially when you're first starting out. And it's a lot to think about if you have to worry about shipping and finding out how to fulfill it. And it's such a headache, but Amazon makes it so easy for you. You literally just need a laptop and a connection. It's not even a joke. And once I saw that, and the fact that can allow you to literally do anything everything, to go anywhere, to be with anyone, to work at any hour you want. It was kind of a no-brainer for me. I don't see any other models right now that are expanding at this rate that aren't trends or something short term that is going to die in a few years. You know, it's just on such an expansion. And plus you have that credibility, like you mentioned earlier, with trust with Amazon. The customer is always right, and the customers trust Amazon. So as long as you play by their book and you stay within terms of service, which is very easy to do and still be successful, then you are golden.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about the ability to reach people around the world that you couldn't reach otherwise. I want to show this to you guys one more time just to motivate you. I want you to see, just to give you an idea. Here, give me 1 second. I want to make sure I can see this too. I want to give you guys an idea of how many people, these are orders. These are orders. These are customers. These are people looking for products, and we're able to change their life through these orders on Amazon. Guys, it's insane to think about. Like Karina said, imagine finding a problem in the world. You all have problems. We do. You bump your toe. Well, we can fix that. You go to the restaurant. Well, why did the food fall off the plate? You go to the gym. Well, why does this hurt when I lift this? It shouldn't. That should be more comfortable. There are thousands of product ideas just waiting for you to create that solution, just waiting. And when you create the solution, you are impacting someone's life. That's the thing I think sometimes, Karina, people forget when they start. They think it's all about them. It's not. Absolutely, you need to be motivated for yourself and take care of yourself first. Put the oxygen mask on you before you help others. I agree with that. But the greatest motivation in the world will never be there if it ends with me. It has to involve someone else somehow. How do I do that? You find a problem that people have or a desire they have. You create a solution to that problem, one that they absolutely love. You're thinking about them unselfishly, selflessly, kindly, compassionately, empathetically, graciously, thinking about their need, and you create a solution to that. They will throw money at you because you're solving that problem. I know that might sound overly simplistic, but it's truth. Go ahead, Karina.
I was going to say that's like a really, really good point, because I think another big problem is people think that Amazon, for some reason, is selling rinky-dinky products that are just like get rich quick.
Totally.
But that's teaching it that way is not doing it for the right reasons. I mean, you don't have to go to do something good for someone. You don't have to cure cancer. You don't have to buy someone a huge house. But if you are like looking for the gap in the market, seeing what issues a product has and improving it slightly and making the customer experience better, you are adding something good. And you are, you know, the more value you add, the more money you make. Because I'm sure everyone had this experience. They order something. It doesn't even have to be like on your wish list, but something simple that improves your life slightly. That's why you buy it. And it actually works, or it fixes a problem that most other products have. And it's just a second of like, you feel pleased. You're like, oh, thank God I got a good product. It worked. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Or getting just, if you look, certain markets just have the worst reviews. Yeah. And I can imagine all those thousands of people getting it and they're great. Now I have to turn it, or people get pissed off. But if you find a solution, they're going to, even for like a few seconds of when they're using it, they feel at peace and happy. And I know that sounds silly and simple, but literally everyone who shops has this experience. So even adding value in that way is great.
Yeah, I literally received a message. We have a team that handles this, but this one got escalated to me. And I'm going to read it. Got a text saying the blank, I'm not going to say the product, was delivered, and my daughter said it's not there. So I responded, my team is checking right now. It's unlikely it shipped that quickly, but I will check. Then she sent a screenshot of it saying it was delivered. And then she said, when it ships, can you let me know, please? I said, this is, by the way, is a large product, so it's FBM, Karina. I said, I absolutely will. They're checking right now. Then she said, thank you so much. I'm working night shift tonight, then off 2 days, back on a day shift Saturday. I'm a nurse at a nuclear power plant construction site, and it's hard to answer calls or texts right away. Now, again, my team handles 99% of these, but this one got escalated to me into my phone. That is a real person right now working 2 days back-to-back night shift at a nuclear power plant construction site. All of a sudden, Karina, I just got insight into one of her buyers, and it gave me the opportunity to create an experience that will absolutely fascinate her. no, we're not going to ask for a refund. We're not going to have her ship it back. The wrong item was shipped. We're just sending a brand new one to her, the correct item, and over communicating, and she will be fascinated. Not only will that make me feel happy because I was able to make a difference and take ownership for our mistake, it'll probably end up in a good seller feedback and maybe product review. The point is, guys, when you value others, they will value you. It really works. Like you give, you'll receive. That principle is universal. It's timeless, and it works, you guys. And my hope and prayer for every single one of you guys watching this today, that you will do the two things we talked about earlier. You will get the knowledge and take action on the knowledge. And if you have the knowledge and you take action, the only thing that can hold you back is you. And that's where you go inside your brain and you say, any voices telling me I can't do this, I'm going to set them aside. I'm not going to fight them and make them stronger, nor am I going to ignore them and try to shove them down. Both are very unhealthy. I'm just going to set them aside. Okay, I heard you, and move right back to truth. You can do it. Karina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was awesome. Guys, please click below once you watch this video to go on YouTube. There's going to be a link below. Subscribe to Karina's YouTube channel. She's bringing value there to help you in your journey. And I hope that after today, you guys have just one more step of motivation to get out there and build the life of your dreams. Karina, have an awesome day in Israel. I'll be visiting there soon.
Perfect.
All right.
You have
cheers.
an awesome day.
Thank you. Cheers to everybody. You guys have an awesome day. Talk to you later.
Great.
Oh, sorry. Karina, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one sec. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry you had to be looking at my neck the whole time I'm faced that way.
No, it's all good. I was like switching between screens. I could kind of see the big view of things.
Nice.
It's cool.
See right